Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer proudly present the Senior PGA Tour. In a city where numbers definitely dictate dollars, who will win the chips today and then really cash in? Gibby Gilbert, 1 under par today with a birdie at number 1. Earlier at the par 4 ninth, this putt to go to 13 under par. He did it, 2 under on the front side. 6 golfers within 4 shots of him as this day dawned. One of them, Mike Hill. Mike Hill, a great front side. And then this birdie putt at number 10 to go to 11 under par. And the game was on. Hill at that point trailed by 2. But Hill, who won in Naples earlier this year and is number 1 on the Senior PGA Tour money list, was far from finished. His second shot at 13 with a wedge. Look at that, up to within 5 feet of the flag. And then his putt to go to 12 under. He made it. The shot of the day, Tom Wargo, his second shot at 12, 129 yards out, a 9-iron. He was trailing by 4 at this point. Watch it. An eagle for Wargo to 11 under par. That put him only 2 back of Gibby Gilbert. Gilbert playing flawless golf. And Wargo making a run at him. The man that won the Senior PGA Championship 2 weeks ago in Florida. Gibby at the par 4 12. At this point, 13 under par. Hooked it way to the left. And at 12, he would make his only bogey on this, his final round, to fall back to 12 under par. Gilbert at 12 under, Mike Hill at 12 under, and then this putt just a second ago at 14. That was for par, so Mike Hill falls to 11 under. Wargo and Hill both at 11 under par. The leaders, Gibby Gilbert by 1, but the field is tightly bunched. Bob Charles in the hunt trails by just 3, and Rocky Thompson 4 off the pace. ESPN welcomes you to the city that never sleeps. The famed Las Vegas Strip, where fortunes have been won and dreamed about. Downtown Las Vegas, the fastest growing city in the United States. Las Vegas, a city of glitter and gold, where games of chance are at your beck and call 24 hours a day. And where the wheel of chance keeps spinning in that elusive search for Lady Luck. Welcome to the final round of the Las Vegas Senior Classic. In a city that's known for its stars of entertainment, its 24-hour excitement and non-stop, non-sleeping pace, the convention capital of the United States, welcome to Las Vegas and the Stars Desert Inn, our final round live coverage. We showed you Gibby Gilbert as he was at 12 under par after his only bogey. Mike Hill just bogeyed to fall 1 off the lead. Tom Wargo with that eagle at 12. He trails by 1. Bob Charles 3 off the lead, $105,000. At stake in this city of glitter and gold. Other scores in our outstanding field of 56 here at the Las Vegas Senior Classic. Chichi has just finished up of 5 under 67. Larry Loretti had the day's best round, started out at +3, started a 7 under par 65. Always nice, of course, to have you back with us. Always special to have Bob Murphy alongside. We tore him away from the one-arm bandits for a little bit. Earlier this week, Gibby Gilbert awoke. He had a displaced bone in his right hand. Said, I didn't know how I got it. Even some question as to whether or not he'd be able to play in this golf tournament. Said, jokingly, he said, well, maybe I was trying to squeeze 21 at the blackjack tables. Well, the way the leaderboard is going right now, Murph, Lady Luck has just changed rather dramatically, huh?
Boy, and Lady Luck is a fussy lady, isn't she? So all of a sudden, Gibby was sort of coasting along. He knew he had to be aggressive today. He knew good scores were coming, and Lady Luck jumped up, struck this man right in his right hand, and boom, he knocks it in the hole at 12. Got it. What a change of events as quickly as it can happen. Mike Hill, a couple of groups in front of Gibby, seemed to be taking command. At least he was telling Gibby, you're not just going to coast home, pal. We're still here.
Well, Mike Hill had the eye of a tiger this morning. The man that's number 1 on the money list, 1 in Naples, of course. He trails by 1 along with Tom Wargo. And you saw that look, eye of the tiger, Mike Hill. You know he can be tough in the final day.
Well, it's Sunday, and they're playing well, and Bob Charles likes to play well here. And so we got a real tournament going. Why? Because there's just no weather factor. So it's all birdies today. You just really have to be aggressive.
Gibby called his bone injury the penalty for growing old.
Well, a strange thing. He woke up and had a displaced bone in his hand. I played with him Monday, no problems. So a strange thing, but it's okay.
A 70 on Friday, a 9 under 63 yesterday. Started out the day at 11 under par, a birdie at 1, another at 9, and then that bogey back at 12. Get in.
Oh.
So Gibby with that putt just sliding on by. Andy North is following Mike Hill, who just bogeyed. He trails by 1. Some thoughts, Drew?
Well, Jim, Mike Hill, despite the bogey at the last hole, is still 4 under for the day. What I really like about Mike Hill, he really plays well on Sunday. 3 of the last 4 terms, he shot 67 on the last round. I think he's going to shoot that kind of score today, and whoever wins this golf tournament is definitely going to have to beat Mike Hill at the end. Gary, you're with the last group.
Yeah, Andy, I sure am. And, you know, Gibby Gilbert's play yesterday was very impressive. He drove the ball in 13 fairways. He hit 14 greens in regulation. He started out playing that way today. Birdies at number 1 and number 9 seemed to be in control. But the last few holes, he stubbed his toe. Missed a short birdie putt at 10. Poor iron shot at 12 led to a bogey. The man to watch now, Tom Wargo. I'd have to call him the John Daly of the Senior Tour. He's the average man's hero. He's from a working background, and right now he's clearly the crowd favorite. You know, he tasted victory a couple of weeks ago at the PGA Seniors Championship. Obviously, he liked it. Right now, he's got fire in his eyes.
Mike Hill's second at 15. Meanwhile, Tom Wargo, 11 under par, on the tee at 14.
14, good dogleg left, par 4.
Wargo calls himself a homemade player from the public links ranks. His wife Irene watching back home today.
Good tee ball there, and no gamble with the tree.
How about Kermit Zarley, guys?
He's had
62 on Friday, a 74 yesterday, and through the first 8 holes, 4 over par today. What a turnaround.
Strange turn of events for Kermit.
Did make it to the practice tee in plenty of time today. Showed up 15 minutes before his tee time yesterday and shot that 2 over 74. He was out there about an hour and a half before his tee time today. Perfect. And Gibby at 12 under, our leader, the last to hit.
Gibby setting up to the right, playing an obvious draw around the tree. Avoiding the bunkers on the right.
He's been in contention all year. He tied for 3rd at the Tradition behind Tom Shaw, tied for 2nd behind Jim Elvis in Naples, and he's leading here.
Today's final round live coverage of the Las Vegas Senior Classic is being brought to you by Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles. By General Tire, the family tire. By Just for Men, the leader in men's hair coloring. Blends away gray in 5 minutes. And by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships.
If you're looking for distinction and value in a luxury automobile, the answer is the special edition Cadillac DeVille. Equipped with luxurious options such as Phaeton roof, gold ornamentation, and leather seating areas. At a savings of $1,490 plus a $2,000 bonus direct from Cadillac for a total of $3,490. The special edition Cadillac DeVille, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
I like New York in June. How about you? I like a Gershwin tune. How about you?
This is Spike Lee for General Tire. Make sure you take new Gen-Seal puncture-resistant tires on your next trip to New York. You're gonna need them.
How about you?
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Just for Men blends away the gray for a totally natural look. No wonder 8 out of 10 women prefer the Just for Men look to the gray look.
It's like you took off 10 years.
And in just 5 minutes.
Just for Men. She'll love the way you look.
So you're actually putting money away.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I've changed. Especially since the baby.
Dad would be real proud. So what do you have your savings in?
I have in savings.
What kind of savings?
In a bank.
Want to do me a favor? Talk to my broker, Payne Weber. You can probably manage that money a lot better than the bank.
This is my savings we're talking about here. I mean, how's a broker supposed to know what I need?
Well, ask.
Live at the par 5 15th, Mike Hill trailing by 1. His third shot. He might just chip this in, Murph.
Short, Jim. Andy North said he didn't hit a very good chip shot on the last hole.
Larry Ziegler had a hole-in-one yesterday, a moment ago, to go to 8 under par at 14. How are they doing today? We'll look at Mike Hill, 4 under par. Tom Wargo, 3 under, helped out, of course, by that eagle back at the par 4 12th. And Bob Charles, good Wynn player at 2 under. Ziegler, 1 under par now after that birdie we just showed you, Gary.
That was a 5-iron from Gibby Gilbert, 184 yards to the flag, and another iron shot going short and left.
Wow.
Murph, I tell you, the last 3 or 4 holes here now, he's holding on. It looks like his grip pressure is increasing a little bit, and we're seeing some very poor iron shots.
Yeah, short iron off the tee, as a matter of fact.
Well, he pulled the ball short and left at 11, did the same thing at 12, and now again at 14.
Gary Koch, since he carded that 62 on Friday to equal the course record, Kermit Zarley's 5 over par, a 74 yesterday, and 4 bogeys and just 1 birdie today.
Kermit with a 6-iron, 169 yards. And Kel, in answer to your statement, I think if we talked to Kermit, he would have to tell you that the big difference, putting. He has putted very poorly now.
Speaking of putting, Rocky Thompson. This to go to 10 under par and get into the contest at 15. Rocky was paired with Kermit yesterday. Thompson shot at 1 over par, 73 in the second round. Good pin placement at 14. Gary?
Excellent, Jim. Just short of middle on the right-hand side of the green. Bunker on the right, definitely in play. Also a little tree overhanging on the right. Tom Wargo's ball is in the right center of the fairway, so he's going to have to guard against those 2 things. 151 yards. He's taken an 8-iron. The man is big and he's strong and he goes at it hard. He needs to get it going. It needs to get up a little bit. Needs a bounce.
It's not in the bunker. Wargo's ball back at 14. Up ahead at 15. Mike Hill has a birdie putt to tie for the lead at 12 under.
Well, Jim, if Mike Hill's going to win this golf tournament, he has to make this putt. He's had 3 this length in the last 5 holes and made 2 of them. This is a big putt for him.
Could be a 2-shot swing. A birdie by Hill, a bogey by Gilbert. 3 holes or 3 groups behind.
Oh, well, that started left, didn't it?
That putt stroke looked a little bit shorter. You know, you start trying to make them instead of just stroking them, and sometimes they don't go in.
You don't see Mike Hill miss many putts like that or fail to birdie too many of the par 5s. He trails by 1. It's always special, of course, to come back to Las Vegas and be reunited with good friends like Mr. Manny Cortez, who's the executive director of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. I know that it's impossible to say that there's no construction going on here. It seems like every time we come back once or twice a year, more hotels are going up. What, another 10,000 rooms now?
Well, it's closer to 11,000, and most of them are all in one intersection there at the corner of Tropicana and the Strip. But it involves a 5,000 room hotel and theme park. The Luxor Hotel, which is across the street, is another 2,500, 3,000 rooms. And then, of course, down the street next to the already popular Mirage is another one called Treasure Isle. So we're really busy right now.
Well, you think, how can they build more hotels? But they really need the extra space. The National Association of Broadcasters was just here, 60,000 plus. But let's talk about the excitement of next weekend, a big fight here in town. What's coming up and what's going on?
Well, Lennox Lewis, as you know, is going to be in town next week, and that's proves to be a pretty good fight, I guess. Neither one of the two fighters has ever been knocked down, I understand, so we're looking forward to that. Should be an interesting card. Of course, there are some other things that come out the rest of the year. You know, we also host 2 other stops on the PGA Tour, the ladies and the regular tour. And then, of course, in December, we have the National Finals Rodeo, and the second annual this year will be the Silver Bowl, the Las Vegas Bowl, which is the first college bowl of the year.
Well, to you and your staff who work so hard to make this certainly one of the convention capitals of the world in the city of Las Vegas, our thanks, and we look forward to seeing you again come October when we come back for the Las Vegas Invitational. Manny, thank you.
Thank you, and we're glad to have you here.
Watching Tom Wargo, 11 under par, 3 under so far on the backside through 4 holes, trailing by 1, paired with Gibby Gilbert and Kermit Zarley.
Gibby, reasonable bunker shot there. It appears to be about 3 feet, so good chance to save par for Gibb.
A little surprised at that club selection, Murph, putting from that long grass. Had to putt through some long grass and then the shorter cut of fringe, and
yeah,
the ball jumped out of there in a hurry.
Boy, he killed it. That looks like it's 8 or 9 feet past.
Meanwhile, on the tee at the par 3 16th, Rocky Thompson, 146 yards. He birdied the 15th hole to get it to 9 under. Nice shot.
Jim, that was excellent.
Bob Charles, 9 under, second shot at 15.
Unable to go for the green, Bob laying up behind the water leaves himself approximately 95 yards to the hole.
Jimmy Powell, 3 under par, 2 over par today, Andy.
Yeah, Jimmy struggled a little bit. You know, what really makes it worse is when you're a couple over and your playing partners are 3 and 4 under, you feel like you're shooting 100, which just makes it worse. He's pulled this one also. I tell you, Jim, this is an interesting pin placement today. If you land your ball about 1 yard on the green, you could conceivably suck it back down off the green, and I think there's enough rough to keep it out of the water. But I think that proper shot is to land it pin high or maybe even a little bit past and hope you can spin it back down the hill to the hole.
Last year you weren't here, Andy, but Orville Moody actually hit it in the water and it bounced out. He was able to make par on the hole.
Kermit Zarley just made his par at 14 to stay at -5. Mike Hill trailing by 1. 3 holes left in regulation.
This is really a big shot for Mike. He's got to knock it in here close and get a putt at a birdie. It's a little bit left of the hole.
Get in that tight. Come on back. Bam.
Just above the hill that he probably was shooting at in the hopes he could draw it back towards the hole. He's left himself a downhill over the ridge putt. Not a bad one, though. You can get good speed on those putts.
Wargo to save his par.
As Murph said, from some 8 feet. He's checked his little notebook. Obviously, he's gotten the grain figured out. It's running to the southwest to his left.
Get in.
There's a good stroke there, Murph.
Boy, and good speed. That ball went in very definitively.
So Tom stays at -11. Gibby now for his par after a good bunker shot.
Gibby's been faced with 3 or 4 of these length putts for pars, and having been in this situation, Murph, as you have, these are not the length you want.
Well,
coming
they get
down
longer.
the stretch.
Yeah, they get longer during the day. We watched him on the front, and he made a good saving putt on 6, a good saving putt on 7. So,
well, he made another one at 11 after a poor tee shot on the par 3 there. So, you know, you're only going to make so many of those, and especially with Tom Wargo already having made his, that hole gets a little bit smaller.
There's the tape around the right wrist. Nice.
Well struck. So both Gilbert and Wargo salvaging pars at 14. The field tightly bunched. This week in PGA Tour history belonged to Ben Hogan. The legendary Hogan won 63 times in his great PGA Tour career. And Ben was particularly fond of the Colonial National Invitational Tournament in his native state of Texas. In fact, he won it 5 times, the last in 1959. And that happened 34 years ago this week.
When I think of Kapalua, the first word that comes to my mind is great. Great golf, great views. And with 54 holes, it's never a problem getting to the first tee here. But that's not all Kapalua has. Here there's great tennis, the world's greatest beaches, and 2 great hotels. You can see why I love Kapalua, and you will too. Give us a call at 1-800-554-9000.
Inventions. Even the simplest ideas can become products we use every day. If you have an idea, call the Inventors Helpline in Washington, D.C. at 800-227-7000. You'll receive free confidential forms and useful information describing the invention process. And when you call right now, you'll also receive a free brochure which tells you how to begin developing your new idea. So get the ball rolling. Pick up your phone right now and call for your free Inventor's Kit.
Call 800-227-7000.
Ahoy there! Hey, this is John Miller aboard the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Yacht. Yeah, this is how Joe Morgan and I get from game to game. We're on our way into Miami. Engine room, quick! Warp speed, hard to port! Joe and I will be going to Miami for the first time ever. Sunday Night Baseball with the expansion Marlins and the Rockies, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Mr. Spock, this is the captain. Get Joe Morgan ready and make a quick 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sunday, the Marlins and the Rockies.
I ran away. I'd been in close to 35 foster homes. Went back to the gangs. DCFS showed up and took us away. They took me to a place called Arrowhead Ranch. So I started playing sports a lot. I had gotten my high school degree. It was Arrowhead that did all this stuff for me.
The Tour's Hardy's Golf Classic helps charities like Arrowhead Ranch. Your support helps make success stories like Troy's possible. The PGA Tour. Anything's possible.
At the 498-yard par 5 15th, Bob Charles, third shot, trailing by 3.
Cute little shot here, Jim. The pin right on the very front of the green. You have to pick your distance correctly. Bob just catches the slope, and that, of course, helps the spin on the ball.
Mike Hill, a moment ago, with that downhill putt.
Well, he's got a downhill double breaker. Has to swing it out to the right. Good camera angle. See him start the ball out right. There it goes left, but it never comes back. Expecting it to bleed back to the right the last 3 or 4 feet.
So Mike Hill would tap in to stay at 11 under par, 1 behind this man.
Should be a good driving hole for Gibby.
Yes, it should, Murph. He likes to play the ball a little bit right to left. Reaching the green in 2 is not a problem. It's hitting it straight enough. He's got it going dead left. It's into the trees. And that could be very costly.
Before that, Tom Wargo. Look at that on the par 5 15th, bogey.
And Jim, Tom Wargo also to the left. This ball looks like it's going to catch the bunkers on the left.
So both Wargo and Gilbert in trouble off the tee at the par 5 15th. Hill with a par at 16 remains 1 off the pace.
Where in the world can you find a castle, tigers, the black hole, glamour, romance, neon, a volcano, more neon, feathers, a cabaret, a tropical island, more romance, and superstar after superstar after superstar, only in Las Vegas.
Always on the money, Las Vegas.
I'm a manufacturer's rep, and I'm here meeting a client for the first time. He's a little nervous that I'm spreading myself too thin. I've got clients in 5 other states, so I'm here to reassure him. We all carry SkyTel, so you can reach me whenever you need me. All you have to do is dial my personal 800 number, 2. You'll hear my voice, and you can record a message, and this will notify me. When I play back your message, I'll know exactly what you need.
So you're covering 5 states in just one phone number?
Just one phone number.
I'm impressed.
To talk about the SkyTel system and what it can do for your company, call 1-800-SkyTel.
I think he's feeling better now.
Everybody talks about the Big Bertha Metalwoods, but the technology at Callaway was developing this S2H2 iron. By moving this much weight from the neck to here, where it will do you some good, you get a more solid feel and a more forgiving club. So if you like the Big Berthas, try Callaway irons. They really work.
Callaway irons at fine golf shops everywhere.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Why is it always
The same old story. Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. When it comes to a great beer, we wrote the book.
Rocky Thompson to go 10 under par at 16. He birdied 15. Rocky.
Wow. Got to believe it's going to break back to the lake, the hill sloping down.
Let's check in with Gary now to find out what the situation is with Gibby at 15.
Gibby's ball some 20 yards left of the fairway, in the trees, in the rough. Pretty good lie. He does have an opening. He can kind of squeeze it through there. I don't think the trees will be a problem. He'll just be trying to hit the ball some 150 yards to lay up short of that lake.
While we wait, Gary, Andy North watching Mike Hill on the tee at the par 4 17th.
Jim, I'm out in front of him. He went back to his bag. He may have gone back for a driver. The wind came up a little bit. He's got it perfect position. This is a hole that a lot of guys play 3 woods up short of this bunker, and Michael took an aggressive line with the driver.
Gibby
played a low punch shot and actually got lucky. It caught the far bunker, the lip of it, and kept going. He's going to have a little bit longer third shot.
If he was about 6 inches lower, Gary, he'd have been in jail, right?
Well, he could have plugged it right in the lip of that bunker some 30 yards in front of him. Yeah, he definitely hit the shot lower than he was trying to, Jim.
His tempo's been a little different since that bogey back at 12.
Well, it really has. It started on number 11, the par 3. A little quicker, a little faster.
Same hole a moment ago. Bob Charles to go to 10 under par. So Bob will stay at 9 under, 3 behind Gibby Gilbert. Gibby 1 under par today. Mike Hill having a good final round, 4 under today with 5 birdies and that 1 bogey. Chi-Chi finished up with a 5 under par 67. Jim Colbert, who lives here in Las Vegas, he birdied the 18th for a round of 4 under par 68. And Larry Loretti, the day's best round, is 7 under 65, but he started well off the pace at +3.
Larry Loretti is due to start playing well again, working on his golf game for quite a while.
Back to 15.
Tom Wargo playing from the bunker on the left-hand side, just trying to hit the ball some 130 yards, laying up short of the lake. Does have quite a lip on that bunker to contend with. Got it out nicely. Murph, this ball needs to sit down.
Sound like it hit the lip of the bunker.
Down. It needs to sit down.
Oh,
I think he just laid the ball up in the water. That is inexcusable.
What a bad play. What a bad play.
Well, that's the cardinal rule, Murph. You know it. I know it. Anybody who plays for a living knows it. If you're going to lay up, you make sure you stay short.
On the tee at 16, Bob Charles.
Good position there by Bob Charles as it starts to collect back down the little ridge there.
Bob's Telestrator, presented by Just for Men, blends away gray in just 5 minutes.
Well, in the first place, this lip is quite high here on the bunker, as you see, and Wargo in there with probably a 9-iron or a wedge. But as he hits the shot, I believe the ball catches the top of the grass as it comes out. Sounded as if it hit the lip of the bunker, and in doing it, yes, you saw that it did. It hit and it sprung up. So in essence, that probably put some overspin on the ball as opposed to backspin, and then it landed, you know, very hard in the fairway and continued to roll. Bad play.
Certainly becoming the people's champion after his senior PGA championship 2 weeks ago down at PGA National.
Yeah, and any number of things. Perhaps they miscalculated a little bit the yardage. That's always a possibility. Maybe he's a little aggressive. On Sunday, that adrenaline pumps a little bit. You do hit shots farther than you think you will occasionally.
Murph, I think another thing, the fairway extremely firm down here, just short of the lake. It's where a lot of the golf carts have crossed the fairway.
Good point.
And that ball did hit extremely hard.
Gary, one of the things Gibby was talking about this morning, the fact that he's choking down on his irons now to compensate for what he termed a funny feeling that because of that injury on the right hand.
Yes, that's exactly right, Jim. Gibby has a tendency to lay the club off a little bit. Here's a 9-iron from Gibby, 137 yards, safely on. And the taping of the hand prevents him from doing that. So he said he feels like he's more outside as he comes down than he ever has been.
Since the displaced bone in his right hand, he's been hanging the ball out to the right. Mike Hill, second shot at 17 with a pin, Andy, 17 feet in from the left.
Jim, he's got 128 yards. It's just a nice 3/4 9-iron. He's got a bunker. He's got a carry over. Looks like it's a pretty darn good shot. He's got to get up. Ooh, it's hit right in the top of the crest and stopped dead. If it takes one little hop, he's pretty decent.
Larry Ziegler birdied 14, bogeyed 15, back to 7 under par on the tee at the par 3 16th.
Larry Ziegler, a hole-in-one yesterday on the 11th hole with what he termed a fat 3-iron. Now, look at this. Larry says, I can't believe it.
Had he made a hole-in-one at 16 today, a 1993 Cadillac for a member of Team Cadillac as the Cadillac Series continues in Las Vegas.
Before we could map out how far the Seville STS would go before its first scheduled tune-up, we first had to create a new map, big enough to chart the durability of Cadillac's Northstar V8, a map that spans 100,000 miles, or the equivalent of 4 trips around the world. The Seville STS with the Northstar system by Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles, 100,000 miles at a time.
Nitro. Perform with power.
At Bridgestone, we know that every golfer has a different swing speed. So doesn't it make sense to use a ball that matches yours? That's why Bridgestone designed the Precept EV, a series of balls intelligently engineered to react for maximum distance at any swing speed, especially yours. Precept EV, no wonder it's named the Smart Ball.
After the golf, after the tennis, after playing in the parks and bicycling on the trails, after doing everything you can do at Summerlin, this may be the only activity you'll have energy left to pursue.
Preparation for the prestigious French Open begins. Stefan Edberg, Andre Agassi, and Michael Chang battle on clay at the German Open, beginning Thursday afternoon at 2 Eastern on ESPN.
A moment ago, hoping to get it up and down and salvage his par after hitting it into the water. Wargo's 4th shot at the par 5 15th.
90 yards. Gary?
Yeah, he dropped it exactly 90 yards from the hole, Murph, and obviously he knew what he was doing. He would adjust that distance.
Got a little aggravated at his caddy there. I don't know exactly what the exchange was about.
Mike Hill for his birdie at 17.
Jim, Mike has about 22 feet, a little right to left. You know, just aim it and get the speed and make a stroke. Don't try to make it. Just make a good stroke and see what happens.
To tie for the lead. Back to 15.
And that was a very weak effort, Murph. His head came up so fast looking to see where that ball was going. He's left it some 4 feet short. A lot of leaking of oil going on out here in this last group.
It's incredible. You know, 2 holes ago, everybody was flying them in the hole and knocking in birdies, and now all of a sudden it's like a 180-degree turn here.
Let's go back to the exchange as Wargo was really giving it to his caddy. You'll hear him say, what, am I losing you or what?
Something about the yardage to the flag, evidently, because he He was obviously upset with the caddy.
Who has been with him a long time.
Yeah, well, those things happen. I think it's a pressure situation, perhaps. This goes back to what we were talking about. Did they make a mistake on the yardage out of the bunker?
For his par.
8-footer. Not a lot of break in this. I would expect it to be aggressive and a good firm stroke.
Pulled it the whole way. So Tom will bogey 15. He'll fall to 10 under par. That leaves Mike Hill just one back of Gibby, but Gibby's got some work to be done. He's got a little knee knocker, Gary, for his par.
He certainly does, Jim.
Bob Charles to go to 10 under par at 16. Get in. Bob will stay at -9, 3 off Gibby's lead. Back to 15 for his par.
Jim, it's a little ironic, too, isn't it? The first 45 holes of the tournament, Gibby Gilbert had played 10 par 5 holes and was 10 under par on those holes. Now on the back 9, he parred number 10, and here he is staring at about a 4.5-foot putt for a par at number 15.
On a hole that he eagled Friday and birdied yesterday. Mike Hill tapped in for his par at 17 to stay at 11 under.
Well, we talked about it on the last hole. These are the putts you have to make to win tournaments.
Into the heart of the hole, Gilbert salvages his par. He's got 3 holes left, a 1-shot lead over Mike Hill, who goes to the par 4 18th, 3 groups ahead. Wargo with that bogey falls 2 off the lead.
Well, and as Gary mentioned, the par 5s are driving Gibby's bus. He's 10 under par on them, and now he's made 2 pars. Mike Hill, on the other hand, only 5 under on the par 5s, so that's a big swing, isn't it? 5 shots Mike has given up to Gibby on the par 5s.
Mike missed a very makeable birdie putt earlier at 15 today. Bob Charles on the tee at 17, 3 off the lead.
Perfect tee shot. Very similar position to which Mike Hill was in earlier.
395-yard dogleg right. Water on the right side, Murph.
Water, and also a bunker on the right side just above those trees there that you definitely want to avoid. Most of the players will aim in the neighborhood just short of the end bunker there, Jim, and that leaves them 120 to 140 into the golf hole. The pin today all the way on the top back left portion of the green. Good pin position. Mounds with which to deal. Bunkers left, bunkers right.
And how 17 has played going into this final round. 16 birdies and 15 bogeys. Mike Hill on the tee at 18, trailing by 1. Made a bogey on Friday, birdied it yesterday.
Jim, Mike's in the position he wants to drive his ball in the middle of the fairway and give him a good second shot opportunity. You can't think about making birdie until after you've played 2 shots.
Yeah, good hard pin today, too, on 18 on the right-hand portion. Watch out. Oh, this is
that was
gone
really
back
unlucky.
gone back in the bunker.
Although, you know, Murphy, he was right up against the lip and it rolled back down, and he's going to have a decent play, except for with a little lucky to have been in the fairway.
There's the 18th. You see the pin on the far back right-hand portion of the green.
Kermit Zarley, a 62 on Friday. Since then, he's been looking at black numbers.
Hole playing to 146 yards, but the wind is really swirling out here now, mostly in the players' faces. Ordinarily just a smooth 8-iron, but Kermit's taking a 7-iron, which is probably a good play. You want to be a little long, if anything.
The Bermuda surfaces here at the Desert Inn getting a little firmer, and as a result, the players aren't able to spin the ball quite as much as they would like.
A little bit of an advantage now for Gibby Gilbert, having watched Kermit Zarley play his tee shot. He knows that a little 7-iron puts him back there just behind the hole. Now he's got to hit the shot. This is good looking here, guys. Slightly left of the flag. Well played.
Good distance. A control swing from Gibby that time. Better rhythm, better tempo.
We've only seen 1 birdie at 16 today. That by George Archer. Tough little par 3.
Well, no matter how good you are, you're not always real brave when there's water that close to the hole.
Tom would like to make a birdie here and get back the stroke he gave away at the par 5 15th.
He's also taken a 7-iron. He likes to play a lot of little 3/4 punch shots, and that's what he played there.
Bad shot. Big high pull there.
So Tom will have a real tough putt. He'll have a tough time getting down in 2 from there, and Gibby's birdie putt when we come back to Las Vegas. Our ESPN home away from home this week, and we'd all like to thank the Stars Desert Inn for a great week of hospitality. This great resort not only hosts the legends in Senior PGA Tour golf, but also features the marquee stars from show business to headliners. It's entertainment, including the wonderful Liza Minnelli. For great golf and great entertainment, the Stars Desert Inn on the famed Las Vegas Strip, always a winning choice.
What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Where in the world can you find hot days, hotter nights, romance under the sun, romance under the moonlight, sports all day, sports all night, superstars enjoying the day, superstars filling up the night, and action day and night, day and night. Only in Las Vegas.
Always on the money, Las Vegas.
Cadillac has the answers important to you.
We can pass that truck, can't we?
Will we have to stop for gas?
I hardly felt the last bump, did you?
When you ask yourself what is important in a car, think of the questions you ask every day. Then think of the car with the answers important to you. The Cadillac DeVille, which also offers a financial answer. A $2,000 bonus direct from Cadillac. The Cadillac DeVille, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
I like New York in June. How about you? I like a Gershwin tune. How about you?
This is Spike Lee for General Tire. Make sure you take new Gen-Seal puncture-resistant tires on your next trip to New York. You're gonna need them.
How about you?
Bob's Telestrator, presented by Just for Men, blends away gray in just 5 minutes.
Well, from this particular angle, we can't see the ball on the green, but I can tell you she's right back there. Now, what he's facing is a putt that goes right to left, then hits this area where Mike Hill was, careens back down to the right, and then he's expecting it to float back to the hole. Let's see what happens when the ball gets down there. Very hard putt to read, both direction-wise and speed-wise.
On this green, Gary Coach, you could hardly be in a worse spot, could you, with this pin placement?
I couldn't think of a worse place, Jim. Key is the speed. To me, he's got to get it just to the top of the hill and let it filter over. Did he hit it hard enough? He's got to hurry. Got to hurry. Got to hurry.
Wow.
Meanwhile, up ahead at 17, Bob Charles. Second shot.
Perfect position for Bob over there on the left-hand side of the fairway. 8-iron into that back pin. Nice shot.
And at 18, Mike Hill trailing by 1.
Jim, Mike's got a nice lie in this bunker and a real nice angle. 148 yards. He's caught it heavy. It's going to be well short of the green. He's going to have an awfully difficult up and in.
Oh, boy. Landed in the high grass fringe, too.
Zarley to go to 6 under at 16.
Putting from right on top of the ridge, straight down the hill. Pretty good speed.
Think he made it.
The line.
Oh. Boy, what that guy's been through the last 2 days.
So a tap in for Kermit to stay at 5 under 3 over today. Our ESPN golf team on the move. We'll all be at the TPC at Piper Glen. The Payne Weber Invitational will have 3-round coverage. That's live on Friday, May the 14th from Charlotte, North Carolina. Golf course that Arnold Palmer designed. Tom Weiskopf will be there. The defending champion Don Bees will be there as well. We hope you'll be there and join us. Situation as things stand right now with Hill in trouble at 18. Bad tee shot gave him no birdie chance. And he's in trouble. Gibby putting for a birdie at 16 to put a little space between himself and Mr. Hill. This could just about nail it down, couldn't it, Garrett? Three victories on the senior circuit for Gibby Gilbert. The first came at the Southwestern Bell Classic in Kansas City, where he won by a whopping 9 strokes. Then he beat J.C. Snead in a playoff at the Kroger Classic just outside of Cincinnati the following week, and he won in Grand Rapids later in the year.
Good putt to make there, and earlier we saw that putt over red to the left. Mike Hill chipping from down on 18. Beautiful chip shot. Well executed.
And a chance to salvage his par and get it into the house at 11 under. Gibby
read it correctly.
13 under par, and suddenly a 2-shot lead for Gibby Gilbert with 2 holes to go. '92 saw Lee Trevino dominate the Senior PGA Tour. His 5 victories helped him to earn over $1 million for the second time in his great senior career. It was shots like this that helped the Mighty Mex capture last year's Las Vegas Senior Classic for his 3rd consecutive win. The last player to equal Lee's feat of 3 straight was Bob Charles, and that was back in 1987. Amazingly, the Senior PGA Tour record is 4 in a row by Chi-Chi. And ironically, Chi-Chi's victory streak started the week after Charles won his 3rd straight.
Are you ready to get serious about your golf game? Watch this.
PGA Hall of Famer Hale Irwin developed his winning form by hitting hundreds of golf balls a day. With GolfMate, in spite of weather or schedule, you can hit hundreds of golf balls a day just like a professional.
Repetition is the key to improving your game. With your own GolfMate, you can have that repetition every day.
The GolfMate's frame is made of advanced alloys and composites. With an abrasive-resistant mat and unique ball return, it will give you many years of fun and enjoyment.
Sorry I missed the practice round. Yeah. I'll be ready Saturday. You bet I'll be ready.
Safely hit balls at full force in the comfort of your home or office. GolfMate shows your push, pull, hook, or slice.
The GolfMate is your solution to year-round practice. If you could try it right now, you would have one in your home today.
But you can try it with our 30-day money-back guarantee. GolfMate pays for itself by reducing trips to the driving range. So call the 800 number or send your check now and bring your own driving range home today.
Gibby Gilbert on the tee at the par 4 17th with a 2-shot lead. Kind of through the fountain there, Gary.
Well, Jim, I'm going to tell you what, that was hit right on the bottom of the club with a 3-wood, and it was very lucky that it carried the lake.
Back at 16, this was Wargo's putt for his par to stay at 10 under.
Yes.
He made a bunch like that 2 weeks ago at the PGA Senior Championship. Said after he won, always the hard way. That's what golf is all about. It's been a hard Saturday and Sunday for this man, hasn't it, Bob?
Yeah, it really has. Kermit's been struggling. The putter has just abandoned him. Careful.
That ball's dangerously close to the palm trees on the right-hand side, Murph.
And Bob Charles to go to 10 under at 17. Nice roll. 3 under today, trailing Gibby by 3. At 18, Andy, Mike Hill for his par.
Boy, Jim, this would be a nice par after where he was in 2. That was one heck of a pitch shot. You could stand down there and hit 8 or 10 balls and probably not want to get any better than that.
Nice par, but a disappointing last 3 or 4 holes here, Andy.
Well, when you made the bogey at 14, Murph, the wind just came right out of his sails. Still another awfully good week of golf.
A 68 today, a 68 Friday, a 69 sandwiched in between. Mike Hill, who won in Naples and is #1 on the money list this year, finishes up at 11 under par. This was Tom Wargo's tee shot at 17 a moment ago.
Tom going with a 1-iron. And Murph, there's another hard pull. That ball's headed left toward that bunker on the left-hand side.
He has really struggled the last 3 holes.
That's where it appears to be.
A bogey at 15, salvaging a par at 16, in trouble now. Las Vegas is a city of bright lights, and one of the brightest is the Stars Desert Inn. Legends of the entertainment world have called this gem home since Wilbur Clark first opened the doors back in April of 1950. It was hot during the day, but it really cooked at night with the likes of Durante and Debbie and the most famous names of the stage and the screen. And the stars came for the recreation as well, turning out to see the best that the PGA Tour had to offer as the Tournament of Champions tackled the Desert Inn course for 14 years between 1953 and 1966. And whenever Arnold showed up, everyone hoped he'd win. And he seldom disappointed, taking the title in 1962 and again in 66. They ran to see the king, who, win or lose, would always put on a terrific show. Palmer gave way to Nicklaus in 1963 as Jack won the first of his back-to-back Tournament of Champion crowns at the Desert Inn. The Bear stood tall after shooting a course record 63. The LPGA also called the DI home, playing here for 3 years. And, of course, the Senior PGA Tour stars have sparkled in the southern Nevada sky for the past 8 seasons, carrying on a rich tradition of great golf shots and great shows at this gem on the famed Las Vegas Strip, the Stars Desert Inn. Good final round, Bob Murphy, for this man. Bob Charles, 3 under today.
3 under today, but he needed that 65, 66, didn't he, Jim? That was the number he needed. He had a slow first round, 70. Came on nicely yesterday, 67. But when the weather is this calm, Jim, and there's just, you know, the wind is blowing, yes, but not enough to really get somebody off track. You need to shoot lower than that when you're as far behind as they were, with Gibby in the lead.
You saw Loretti finishing up at 4 under. Larry with the day's best round, a 7 under par, 65. Let's go to 17. Gary?
Tom Wargo preparing to play his second shot, Jim. He's in the fairway bunker on the left-hand side. Good news, he's got a great lie, but he's got some very tall trees between himself and the hole, which obviously he has to shoot right at. He's taking a 7-iron. Going to be tough to get the ball up in the air that quickly and get it all the way back to the hole.
Aiming right of the trees here, Gary, out to the right bunker.
Must be trying to play a hook then, Murph.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Big hard pull, hit that tree.
Jumped down. It looked like it probably went into the next bunker some 50 yards ahead of him.
From our camera angle, it almost appeared to be left of the next bunker. It could possibly be there.
You know, guys, ever since Tom found the water at 15 and had that little flare-up with his caddy, I mean, his rhythm has been off. He bogeyed 15, had some trouble at 16 and salvaged his par, and then this at 17. Now our leader, Gibby's second shot at 17.
That's an 8-iron, 155 yards. Good full one. Just needs to get up a touch. Oh, look at this golf shot. Yes, sir. That should do it.
Might be game, set, match. Gibby Gilbert. He's been knocking on the door. Second earlier in the year and a third at the Tradition, but maybe a win today.
If you're looking for a luxury coupe that makes driving fun again, the Eldorado Touring Coupe hits the mark. Because only its advanced Northstar system brings together a 295 horsepower V8, road sensing suspension, and traction control standard, making it the car you'll want to drive first and every day thereafter. The Eldorado Touring Coupe with the Northstar system, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
Where in the world can you find a castle, tigers, the black hole, glamour, romance, neon, a volcano, more neon, feathers, a cabaret, a tropical island, more romance, and superstar after superstar after superstar. Only in Las Vegas.
Always on the money, Las Vegas.
The average round of golf lasts approximately 4 hours. However, those played with high-track TCS irons have been known to last a lifetime. Daiwa high-track TCS, the best-selling graphite-shafted irons in golf.
The NHL is playing for keeps. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN with a hot, delicious Domino's pizza. And oh yeah, get a comfortable seat. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue in a living room near you on ESPN.
Murph, this was Tom Wargo's reaction after his second shot at 17.
See his eyes, they went to the tree that he hit and then dead left, and right now he's not at all sure where it is.
And this was his third shot.
Again, virtually no angle to play with here, and pitches it up in front, and again a bad position. A very short chip over 2 mounds to the pin on the back plateau.
Charles, second shot, home hole.
Careful, careful. It's right on top of the ridge. Gone back down the hill.
Wargo continues at 17.
Fourth shot, trying to pitch the ball up over the ridge. Landed it right into it. Ball stopped dead. It's going to be a costly hole.
So Gibby in the lead. Mike Hill has finished up with that 4-under par 68. Let's check Andy North.
Jim, we've got Mike Hill. Another really good week, Mike. I know you're a little disappointed with the bogey at 14.
Well, Andy, I played as good as I felt like I could play until I got there, and I probably hit the wrong club off the tee. That hole has given me trouble all week long. I've hit 1 iron there, and seemingly twice I put it around the corner, but today I didn't get it there. But I hit bad chip shots, and at 15, you know, if that ball bounces a foot forward, it's on the green, and that's a whole different story there. And, you know, I could have made the putt. I only had 4 or 5 foot, so, you know, you just do what you can do.
Well, you surely played well, and your good finish yesterday set up your chance to win today, and you got off to a great start, and it's fun to get in that kind of position.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it, and that's why I enjoy Sunday. You know, I just hate to let them escape. You know, I like to see them sweat a little longer, but when I didn't make birdie at 15, I think I give them the opportunity to know that they make pars, they're going to win.
Well, even at 16, you're a little bit unlucky. If that iron shot lands about 4 or 5 feet shorter, it might suck back down the hill too. So some weeks that happens, and some weeks it doesn't.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of good of those things happen. You know, I've hit some shots on Sunday that have gone really close. That, you know, that's the breaks, and maybe next week it'll be better. You know, you never know.
Well, another great week. We're happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael.
For his bogey at 17. You know, Gary and Bob, about every time that Tom this week has been talking in terms of himself, he's used the term we or us. And he said that's because of his fans, his caddy, his wife Irene. He said you can't have a golf tournament without fans, so you've got to include them. Well, he's got about 25 friends and family here watching him in the desert.
Well, we are having a tough time finishing.
Yeah, we and us are. A bogey at 15. And a double bogey at 17.
Well, an insightful thing, too, from Mike Hill, stating that he felt like he had it going in the correct direction.